Hey everyone, I'm CJ,
I'm Noah, as always.
and this is TV Pop Culture episode 51. We're finally senior citizens, unable to collect pension and living off our grandchildren.
Well, I'm sure they'll let me live off them as long as I buy them lots of toys and shit. That's what my grandparents did. They spoiled me like fuck.
So, because Christmas season has just ended, there hasn't been that much news.
Oh yeah.
But we do have a few really good news articles to go over.
CJ, but before we get started, I have something that I have to say.
Okay.
Okay, everybody. Over the Christmas holidays, a very good friend of mine passed away. I've known him since childhood. He's been like a hero to me, and he died in such a horrible fashion that I can't believe that this would happen to him. I'm of course talking about Peter Parker, aka the Amazing Spider-Man. For those of you who don't know, if you haven't read The Amazing Spider-Man 700, which came out on Boxing Day, which I picked up, basically Otto Octavius has taken over Peter Parker's body. Spoiler alert! And now Peter Parker was stuck in Dr. Octopus's dying body, but before he died, he gave Dr. Octopus his memories so that he would learn the responsibilities that he has to do and be Spider-Man. And he promised a dying Peter Parker he would carry on as the superior Spider-Man, which I think is a fucking slap in the face to Peter Parker.
You know, for a moment I thought you were going to say continue on as Octopus Man, but, hey, that works too.
I'm unaffectionately calling him Spider-Ock.
Spider-Ock.
Fuck you, Marvel.
That caused a pretty big stir. I remember that happening over the holidays. And I remember thinking to myself, you know what? 700 issues? Guys, that's not bad. I mean, Batman only made it to about 600 something before he got killed in Infinite Crisis. So really, I should say Bruce Wayne, because Dick Grayson did go on to become Batman. But even so, I just kind of looked at this like, we're having this big of a stink about it? I mean, okay, obviously to the fans out there, this is obviously a big shock, and
this is blasphemy.
Exactly. I just hope that what happened with Hal Jordan in the 90s does not repeat itself here. We don't need a Spider-Man attack force or a Peter Parker attack force. We don't need one. If anyone is making plans for it, please stop now and save us all a lot of bitching and moaning we'll have to hear.
At the most, I think this is going to last like 6 months or maybe like 12 issues.
Yeah.
Before they just...
Well, isn't there still Oh, I'm forgetting the name of the character. The Spider-Man that has the red and black costume.
Scarlet Spider?
Is that what they're calling him?
No, you're thinking of the Ultimate Universe Miles Morales, probably.
Yes, that's him.
Yeah, but that's an Ultimate Universe in the mainstream.
Oh, okay. I don't follow Spider-Man,
yeah,
so.
Well, I do, so.
Oh, okay. Well, that's part of why you're here.
Yes.
Because you have knowledge that we don't.
I'm the Marvel guy on board.
So,
now that that's out of the way,
I don't know if you heard about this, but DC has been planning a JLA movie, or so we've been told.
Oh yeah, I've been hearing about it.
Yeah.
I'm a little worried. I don't want them to fuck this up or just make this because the Avengers was so successful.
Okay,
which they probably are.
I'm gonna be honest here, guys. I'm a DC fanboy.
So am I.
I will fully and completely put that out there. When it comes to DC versus Marvel, chances are, unless if Nightcrawler's in there, I'm rooting for DC.
Rooting for Marvel.
So, when I heard about this, at first I was really excited, but then it hit me, they're really just doing this now because Marvel did the Avengers movie, and it did really well. And it did amazingly, and I'm glad that it did well.
It was a good movie, too.
Yeah, and I'm glad that it did well. I mean, when it comes to comic book movies, even if I'm not a huge fan of those books, I would not wish ill fate on them.
Yes.
However, with this being said, this is why I'm saying this. DC, if you're watching this video, which I highly doubt you are, but if
you never know.
If by chance you are watching this video, hold off on it for a little while. Make new movies that tie into each other to form the Justice League.
Like,
Don't just go half-cocked into this and say, oh, well, we can make a Justice League movie too. Yeah, you can make a Justice League movie, but
if you don't approach it the right way, it's going to blow.
Exactly. What's the point of making a bad Justice League movie if you have the option to make a good Justice League movie? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like if they're going to copy Marvel, do what Marvel did and build up to it with
Yeah,
different movies.
exactly. Because Marvel put years and years of movies and continuity into the Avengers movie, and that's why it did so well. It didn't do so well just because it's a multi-superhero movie. Okay, yes, that's part of why it did very well, but it did well because of what happened. Because of all these movies that got together and started to form one single continuity.
The Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Exactly. And with all that being said, I think it's time we get into a little bit of what is going to be going on in the new Justice League of America movie.
Oh boy.
So first off, Batman does not want to be involved with the superpower beings, like Superman, Wonder Woman, etc., but will be considered the strategist of the League.
Well, that makes sense, because Batman is a strategist.
Yes, however, what they have failed to comment on is whether or not this is going to be the same Batman from The Dark Knight.
Well, considering the ending to The Dark Knight Rises, we're not sure.
You never know, though. Superman...
I heard a rumor that Joseph Gordon-Levitt was going to be the new Batman.
Huh. Okay, I have not found that one yet.
Personally, I think that's bullshit. Not just because I don't think he's a good actor, but because he's just not Batman.
With me, it's not that I don't think he's a good actor. I think he's a good actor.
Yeah.
But there'd be way too many questions asked.
Yeah.
But anyways, so Superman will be the same character portrayed in The Man of Steel from Zack Snyder's universe. So I think with that being said, that they are trying to form some kind of a continuity, either by starting to make new movies or by bringing the movies they already have.
Okay, but
in which case, I'm hoping they don't count the Superman movies that came before this.
Dear God, no. Superman Returns was enough of a stain on the franchise.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. So far, the only movie they've announced besides Justice League is Man of Steel.
Okay.
So if they're just making one movie and then they're skipping straight to the Justice League 2 years later, everything's going to be basically fucked up.
Well, what they could do, and I was listening to to a certain podcast, which I'm not going to name because they're not paying us to advertise for them, but they said what could work is if DC does a Justice League of America movie, they could take and see what characters are the most popular from that movie and make movies based on sales for those characters' products, which I could see that working.
For example, if Aquaman was a big hit in the movie,
yeah,
we might see Aquaman sales go up more than they already are, because the new 52 Aquaman is actually a decent book.
Is it sad when the Aquaman books become better than Static Shock? Because that kind of disappoints me a little bit.
Yeah.
That Static Shock isn't doing at least as well as Aquaman.
Yeah, well, I mostly remember Static Shock from the cartoon when I was a kid.
The cartoon Static Shock was awesome. I remember that one too.
Where's my
Wonder
DVDs
Woman
of those?
Yeah. Well, apparently they've released... I know they've released up to Season 2.
No.
I don't know about the other seasons, though. But anyways...
Get on that shit, Warner.
Yeah. You know Warner Brothers. They can't market anything unless if it's Batman. Please don't sue.
At least they're not Disney.
Yeah. At this point, Wonder Woman has only been in the quote-unquote man's world for a short few months. Martian Manhunter is going to be used as an element in this movie. He knows about Darkseid and what kind of threat he brings to Earth. So I guess with this being said, we can somewhat assume that if this is true, it's going to be based off of the 1980s comics of the Justice League, which makes me wonder if the Watchtower is going to blow up in either this movie or the prequel, and they're going to be forced to move into an old abandoned warehouse in Detroit.
Does anybody really want to move to Detroit?
Well, I don't know. Those comics were actually pretty good. I mean, I have a few of them at home.
Well, no, I'm saying Detroit now is kind of a...
And that's why I think that could work. Because Detroit at present day isn't doing that great. And this might make Detroit more appealing to people who aren't living there right now.
Oh, because the Justice League lives there.
Okay, I know it sounds silly, but stupider things have happened. They re-elect Bush. Come on.
Well,
if they can re-elect George Bush.
They almost elected Mitt Romney. Thank God they didn't.
Yeah.
That's enough politics. Let me tell you.
We don't like bringing that in on the show.
God, no. But let me tell you, if Spider-Man was real, I probably would move to New York.
Yeah.
Just to photograph him from my apartments.
What else is there? Aquaman, Flash, and the Green Lantern will be revamped and is from Ryan Reynolds' run as Green Lantern. I think that's a big mistake.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I think that is a huge mistake.
Ugh. Please, God, tell me Blake Lively's not going to be in this movie. I've had enough of her shit.
They have not stated, but from what I can tell, even the actress who's playing Lois and the new Superman isn't going to be in this movie. So I highly doubt that they'd have her in the movie either.
Thank God.
And for some reason, Aquaman has a key role in this movie. I don't know why. Well, maybe because of the comics.
Yeah,
but
I'm interested to see how they'll make Aquaman useful outside of water.
Yeah. And there is said that there might, keyword might, there's no guarantee on this, that there might be a small appearance from Lois Lane right 5 minutes before the movie ends, along with Alfred Pennyworth as well.
Is Michael Caine going to be involved?
That has not been stated whether or not he has been involved or if he's even been asked. So, do you want to take the next one, or should I?
Just to add to that, if we can, I realize he might be a little bit older now than he was in the 80s and 90s, but can we please have fucking Michael Keaton back in the Batman suit? He was actually a decent Batman, and he didn't sound like a chain smoker when he talked.
I do agree with you, and he was one of my favorite Batmans, but, I mean, the guy's in his 50s now?
Wow.
So...
If you really want to make the fans try bringing in Adam West for this movie.
I'm gonna get you, Joker. Oh, God.
Or better yet, can we have a black Batman?
There is one. He's called Batwing.
I just really want to see an angry black Batman shouting at everybody in the Justice League. Not saying that that's a...
Fandom would lose its shit. The internet would literally break in half.
Well, I know what I'm going to do if I ever get in charge.
Not because Batman fans are racist. As a Batman fan, I can tell you that I am not a racist. But changing Batman, changing a character like Batman, changing his physical, especially his racial appearance, that would not end well unless they played it off as, this is an alternate universe.
Exactly.
And then fans could be like, okay, and then they could get behind it.
I can get into this and laugh at this.
But unless if they came right out of the fence, right out of the gates and said, okay guys, this is a Justice League movie, but it's set in an alternate universe, because I believe in one of the, Earth 5 or Earth 6 or whatever, there was a black Batman. So, unless if they said...
Was he kung fu fighting?
No.
No.
So unless if they came out and said, this is an alternate universe, fans would lose their shit. And even then, fans would probably still lose their shit, because as far as most of fandom is concerned, and I partially share this, is that if you're going to make a movie, especially like the Justice League movie, it should be based on the main canon continuity. Not Earth 2, not Earth 3, not whatever. It should be the main canon for the main universe.
Why are there so many fucking Earths in the DC and Marvel universes?
Because DC likes Power Girl. That's the short form of it.
Well, I'm pretty sure why everybody likes Power Girl.
Yeah. So, do you want to cover the Captain Kirk article, or should I?
I might as well.
Okay.
All right, so it says Captain Kirk fired. What is this referencing to?
Okay. I'll explain this to you for a moment. Okay, so
Is this from the movie?
This is from the new movie.
Oh, right, okay.
So apparently what's happened is Captain Kirk gets fired, and this is why it happens. With Earth under the terrorist attack of Benedict
Cumberbatch,
whoever the hell he is.
Ex-Starfleet employee John Harrison, Kirk is this time forced into a rash decision that breaks the critical Starfleet command, puts his crew in danger, and costs him his captain's chair. Ouch.
Okay, there's one thing I want to say to Hollywood at this point. Fuck you. No, okay. The first movie was bad. I want you guys to realize this.
Too much
the
lens flare.
first movie was bad. In fact, it was awful. The only thing that stopped it from being a Green Lantern type awful was the fact that you had Leonard Nimoy show up. That's the only thing that saved this movie from having that kind of reputation.
That's what saved the third Transformers movie for me.
Exactly. You guys need to stop. This is not funny. You're pissing off a lot of fans. Want you to realize this. I know you're trying to bring in more fans, but fuck you. This is not how you do it.
You're gonna get... Your office might get bombed. I'm just saying. It won't be from us.
However, on the upside, we get to see Captain Kirk reenact Bad Boys, which is a joke that he'll be wearing leather jacket, boots, and have our three heroes spread from the Enterprise and headed off on a mission to try and rectify his mistake.
You know what? Why couldn't
Okay, in the original series, sorry for cutting you off, in the original series, this shit would not have happened. Kirk would have turned around and said, fuck you, or I'm sorry, I can't hear you, Starfleet Command, over the sound of how awesome I am, and would have hung up the phone. This wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
Want to make that very clear to everyone who's watching this video. This crap would not have happened. This is why you don't go and fuck around with the original Star Trek. Okay, anyways.
As I was saying, wasn't the plan just to do like a Wrath of Khan type story for the sequel?
They never actually said... Hollywood and Paramount never actually came out and said that they would be doing a Wrath of Khan. That's just what most fans assumed.
Well, it would have been nice.
It would have been better than this.
Yeah, this is like bad fan fiction.
This is horrible fan fiction. Okay, you want to know what bad fan fiction is? Bad fan fiction is called yaoi. This is horrible.
Well,
this makes yaoi look attractive, and that's the only time I'm going to say that on this show.
We don't condone. Look, if you want to write gay fanfics, go ahead.
Hey,
it's a free fucking world.
You know what? Fair is fair. If you get to look at that Yuri stuff, girls should be able to look at the yaoi stuff.
That's what
fair
I'm saying.
Fair is fair. Oh, okay.
That's what I was saying.
I'm not saying that I like it or that I agree with it, but fair is fair.
Look, I don't agree with this. Look, I have nothing against the gay community. It's just
fan service.
It's just the yaoi stuff kind of freaks me out, especially when it's two characters I actually like.
Yeah. So, anyways,
oh god.
Before we go, Batman: Death of the Family storyline will be ending come February. And for all of us who have been reading it, I can only speculate what will happen in the end. Now, this is what I think may happen. Will Damien die? Because that's what most of the fans are thinking is going to happen. Are they going to kill Damien? Are we going to have a repeat of a Death in the Family from the 1980s when they killed Jason Todd?
Well, the other thing is that the whole Batman family could just like fall apart.
Yes, that's also true.
Which could be triggered by Damien's death.
Yes. That could be.
Maybe that's what they're building up
and
towards.
I have been reading, and I hate myself for doing this, but I have been reading little hints on the internet about, oh, well, you know, this is happening, and this is happening, and, you know, Jason Todd's going to be changing the outlook of the Outlaws, and so I'm excited alone to see that.
Well, you know, most of the stuff that people post on the internet is just people being dicks trying to, you know, screw with what's actually going to happen.
This was released from DC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So DC's not
Yeah.
trolling us.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Well, DC might be trolling us, but I
Well,
highly doubt they are.
It is DC. They did give us Green Lantern movie. That was one big troll.
And that movie shall never be mentioned again on this show.
Never. Just
Okay.
like we're never going to mention the second Transformers movie.
What? Transformers never had a second movie.
Oh, right. They only had one movie in 2007.
Yeah.
That movie actually wasn't bad.
If that's what you like to think, then go right ahead.
Come on, it wasn't that bad, okay? It was a good start, and then, yeah.
I could take a shit and it would be better than that.
And
just letting you know that.
You could shit in a bag and write Transformers on it.
Yeah, it'd be better than the movie.
Okay, well, why don't you just make your own Transformers movie? You got, like, Punch and toys at home.
Because I would actually want to do a good job on it.
Well, why don't you just do that?
Anyways.
I'll help you for fuck's sake.
Maybe.
Hmm.
Anyways, also in March.
Coming sometime in this lifetime, hopefully.
Hmm.
TV Pop Culture presents Transformers: Robots in Disguise.
Also in March, the Uncanny X-Force will be having its own ginormous story arc called Extermination. It has been yet to be revealed how many issues will be in said story arc. The only information we really know is that Nightcrawler is back, which I, for one, am very happy to hear
Wait a minute,
that.
didn't Uncanny X-Force end its run, or was that another X-Force title?
This is going to be for the Marvel Now.
Oh,
Yeah.
That load of crap.
Because Uncanny X-Force has, I think it's ended,
Yeah.
but this is for the Marvel Now.
Okay, so they're starting from, like, number 1.
Pretty much.
Okay.
So, I'm kind of curious to see what happens. But anyways,
Well,
so
if Nightcrawler's back, it should be good.
we'd like to hear your opinions.
Exactly.
If you'd like to find more stories that didn't quite make it into the episode, you can hit our Facebook page, and the stories we have talked about will be in links in the description box down below. I'm
Definitely.
CJ.
I'm Noah. And, do we have a Twitter account yet?
No, we do not.
We got to get on that.
I'm looking into it right now.
Awesome.
And this has been TV Pop Culture, episode 51.